Hey, we are so fortunate today to be sitting down with Erin Gemar, the project director of South County CalSoap. Erin is a longtime client of Class Consulting Group. We've worked with her a couple of times over the past few years. And South County Cal Soap it plays a crucial role in advising, informing, and exposing students and their parents in California to opportunities and resources that are available for post-secondary education. Their mission is to provide access for low-income and first-generation students with the potential to succeed. It's an honor to sit down with you today, Erin. Welcome to the Class Consulting Group Spotlight Series.
It's so great to spend time in the same place with you again, Amy. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. First question for you, Erin. If you could please tell us a little bit about your professional journey and what inspired you to dedicate your career to an organization like South County CalSO.
Of course, it's hard to know how far back to begin, but I think when I first learned of South County CalSoap, it really brought me back to my high school days. And I remember like it was yesterday, the first time I realized not everybody goes to college. It was an expectation of my family. But I was honestly, it's a little embarrassing to say, but I was like about 16 years old before I realized that that wasn't everybody's journey. Now I've learned it doesn't need to be everybody's journey, but everybody needs to have those options to be able to make choices for themselves. And I don't think that money or parents' education should get in the way of a student's dreams. And so, what students do after high school, when I did learn that some students don't have all of the resources or the knowledge that some others do, to no fault of their own, they may have worked just as hard and right next to you in the same classrooms. It never did sit very well with me. And I didn't go look for a job to fix that problem in the world, but it landed honestly on my lap in about 2003. And I'm so thankful that it did. I think one other thing too that's also I could use the word embarrassing again, or just shows just how anything can change in your life from one day to the next. When I was first asked to read the CalSoap grant and consider becoming the project director, the first question I had to ask myself for research is, what did CalSoap stand for? I honestly did not know what the acronym stood for. I had heard about the program, but I wasn't fluent in the ins and outs of CalSoap. And so it was really a 101 class for me to take that grant home and read it from front to back and understand what I was being asked to do. Of course, I just, every page, just got me more and more excited about the fact that this could be an opportunity for me. And I think it goes along too with being a lifelong learner. I learned something new just by looking up what CalSOAP stood for, and I've been learning every day since. I've grown to love this program. I'm very passionate about the program. We are celebrating our 21st anniversary this year. And I've been, it's a huge honor to say that I've been the project director since its inception.
That's wonderful. And for those of us who are watching and don't know what CalSOAP stands for, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. You did a great job summarizing when you introduced me. It is a pre-college program for first generation and low income students. We are in 15 schools here in South County, CalSOAP. SOAP stands for Student Opportunity and Access Program. It is a statewide program specific to California, and there are only 16 in the state. So there's more space in California, more regions that are not covered by a CalSOAP than there are that do have CalSOAP services. I know that's something the state has been working on, and they have added new CalSOAPs since I have been in this position. But we work from sixth grade to 12th grade with individual students, with classrooms of students, with small groups of students and their parents during the day at school, after school, in college access centers, as well as in the evenings at our main office and at the school sites, providing college awareness and financial aid assistance with application assistance on college apps, on financial aid applications, really anything students ask for that is college or career or financial aid scholarship related, we're going to sit down and spend the time that it takes to work with that student or that individual family. When they ask us a question that is outside of our service area or our service list, we definitely connect them with the right person on their school campus. So we don't ever tell a student we don't know or we can't help. We'll find the help, and we I think we fill a lot of gaps that are found in large institutions. It's easy for a student on a campus of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 students to get lost. And I think we feel very useful in being placed on the site on the campuses. We have 15 offices between Morgan Hill and Hollister. The other two towns that we serve are San Juan Bautista and Gilroy. And yeah, I think we always feel needed. There's plenty of students that need assistance, and the institutions they're attending educationally are large. So yeah, we're happy to be there.
That's wonderful. What are the core strengths of South County CalSoap that you believe are most critical to your success in supporting your students?
Well, our most valuable resource definitely is our team, and the fact that our structure is set up to work one-on-one with students and families. Um, I think just it's a great segue from the question that we just finished, or the conversation we were having about what we do offer to the school sites and to the students. Our team is made up of college students. The majority of our team, we're about 30 strong, so it averages about 2 people per site. And each college student works at about 20 hours. Most of them are bilingual, and we have a large Spanish-speaking population at each of the sites that we serve. And the fact that the students, they can go in without all the other administrative and preparation duties that teachers and counselors and administrators have. They go in to have appointments, one appointment after another with the students. And when they don't finish what the student needed to do with them, whether that was an application or a conversation or a phone call home, they can call them out again the next day. And even though they work part-time in most cases, they do 100% of their time. We'll say 90% of their time. They do have data entry to work on, but for the most part, our college success coaches are on campus to help students. That is their primary responsibility, and that is our biggest strength, is our college success coach team.
That is wonderful. And I bet these young students love working with somebody who's closer to them in age and is on this college journey themselves. That's fantastic.
100%. They're great mentors. They're great colleagues. Um, the group, because of their age and their experience, and in many cases, that's my favorite part of South County CalSoap and actually the statewide program. We need to spend 30% of our budget. It's a requirement that 30% of the funding we earn from the state goes to hiring students, college students are also in need of financial assistance to finish their college degree. And so a lot of the students, not only can they relate to the struggles that our high school students are having and even our middle school students, but in some cases they actually sat in those same desks in those same classrooms because they're from our community. It's one of the most brilliant parts of this program.
That's wonderful. A real win-win situation. Um, could you share a specific challenge that South County CalSoap was facing that led you to seek the support from the class consulting group?
Um, yes. Well, one, as much as it's a strength to have the longevity and the experience I have with this program, it was very transparent to me 12 to 15 years in that there was a lot of knowledge that was in my head about this program. And right after college, I went into the Peace Corps. And one of the most valuable lessons I learned there is, if you take something with you, it doesn't really serve the purpose that you intended. It's when you leave it to keep growing and you leave it into the hands of other people who will take care of it and help it continue to grow, is when you've completed a job well done, or yeah, are in a place to make sure that the influence that the program should have doesn't stop with you, it continues. And so it was very apparent to me that we needed a structure and a system that the whole team could buy into and learn from and engage in. And I think to just have the entire program be more transparent to not only our team of colleagues, but the site staff. You know, each of the schools that we serve, they have at least one site representative that works side by side with us. It's all about collaboration. And then we also have our governing board members who, without them, we couldn't run this program. And I think for everybody to have a similar view of the program, and so that was one reason I realized, you know, there's no succession plan for me. Let's, you know, get all the work that we're doing under some fewer umbrellas that are encompassing, you know, our priorities. And I think the number of priorities was the second motivator, is that I knew we were doing much more than our grant required. We continued to grow and grow and grow. We started with 3 schools, and at the time that I called class, we were at 30 schools. And I felt like I was guiding maybe a hot air balloon that I was afraid it might pop if I didn't start doing things a little bit differently, working smarter, not harder. And so we did work very hard on a strategic plan with class as our leader. And I actually heard of class through the Gilroy Foundation. I went to the Gilroy Foundation to ask them some questions about their structure. And at the end of our conversation, the leader of the foundation at that time said, we had this great experience with class, and it sounds like your team could maybe also use their leadership and their guidance in forming the strategic plan that you'd like to see more transparent and shared across all of my stakeholders. And so that's what we did. And it was very worthwhile. We continue to have our strategic plan guide us. I think every year, more and more people are aware of the plan, understand how their role fits into the plan, and understands how the priorities line up. And even more importantly, I think each year, each month, honestly, each quarter, the decisions that we're making for our program are more aligned with the strategic plan, and even sometimes the decision that is made is very much because we almost now use the strategic plan itself as our consultant. And if it doesn't fit, if it's not helping us get to where we want to be with these students, measuring college going rates, the numbers of students completing their FAFSA or the college applications, earning higher grades, all the things that, participating in summer programs, all the things that measure our program effectiveness. If it's not having a positive influence on that, then it's not the way we should be spending our time. And it's like having a consultant alongside you by being able to just always refer back to that strategic plan.
That is awesome. Music to my ears. That's fantastic. So happy to know that, the journey that you started with class a few years ago has continued to work so well for you. So that's really, really fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we tackle it in 3-year chunks. I think we've had 2 3-year periods with class, and we're in our 3rd year. I'm losing track now. We're in our 3rd or 4th era of strategic planning, and like I said, everyone's more and more speaking that language, and it builds professionalism. There's professional opportunities, development opportunities for each individual that works with us. Sorry, I was going to say something about the 3-year cycle. It'll come to me. We'll have to go back to it.
We are so proud to have partnered with South County CalSoap, not just once, but twice. Could you take us back to the beginning and share how you initially found? Okay, well, I think we just covered that in our conversation. Unless there's anything more that you'd like to add to that about how you initially found out about us.
Oh, right. I did that. I did answer that question
Yeah.
as part of the question prior.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe give me a second. I don't know if you want to
Yeah,
pause the video.
we can edit it later too.
I think I would just also add that besides program effectiveness, even though that is our number one priority, because that's where we're seeing the effect and impact on students and student success. I mentioned our board before, and board engagement is our second priority. And that has come full circle. Our board has accomplished so much and had really open, exciting discussions about other ways to be engaged and how to lift that engagement across the board, aiming for 80 and 90 and 100% participation in different activities, in giving back to the program. I think, and so in both of those focus areas, the program effectiveness and board engagement, I think in both that when we were with class and then also a new platform that we use now for our strategic planning, we have seen the most growth in those two areas.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I know it's a struggle for a lot of nonprofits to find the right board members, to figure out how to structure and utilize time with board members, and that I think has been a challenge that has become much more just manageable and comprehensive with a strategic plan is a relationship between our staff and the board.
Excellent. In what specific ways has your collaboration with the Quest Consulting Group helped South County CalSoap address that challenge or move closer to achieving your goals? What impact have you seen as a result of our partnership? And I think that you've answered a lot of this already in our previous conversation. I don't know if there's more that you'd like to add.
Right, say this again. I think we've covered both those
We
topics.
did, yeah. Yeah. So I think then this is the final question. What are you most proud of in your role at South County CalSoap? And what is one story that truly illustrates the impact of your organization's work on the students you serve?
Thank you. I think proud of, or maybe just have become aware of how important it is to be resilient, and to reinvent not only yourself, but procedures and policies and structures to meet the year that you're in, to meet the team that you're working alongside with, the needs of those people and what's going to make us a high performing team. I think, obviously with nonprofit work, there are challenges, especially with budget and with just creation. I mean, every day when you have the autonomy that we have within CalSoaps, we are a statewide program, and there are requirements that each CalSoap project has in common. To meet those requirements, there's going to be parts of our program that look similar, but we really have some creative flexibility to work within our communities the way that we see our communities needing us the most. And so I mentioned before, really filling those gaps and meeting students where they are. And I think we've continued to do that for 21 years strong. And I think we just keep getting stronger and stronger and better at what we do, even though we're working with college-age students who are really here for a part-time position. There are very few full-time positions available in any CalSoap. And so to always be reinventing the wheel and doing so with a brand new team, it definitely takes energy and resilience. And I'm glad that I've hung on to those traits and modeled those for the last 21 years. A story I have that I think there might be a blurb on this on our website as well. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of students that we've supported, not only through the one-on-one services and the small group services that we offer, but our project, something unique about us is that we also have a scholarship program. And one of our scholarship students, he was accepted down to San Diego State, and he had a really rough time just out of COVID, leaving home, figuring out life in a dorm. He was the oldest of five brothers, and he quickly just felt, I think, the stressors of the absence of mom and dad, the absence of the life he had lived and come to know for 18 years, and even especially, I think, the responsibility that he felt he wasn't assuming anymore for his brothers and to support his parents with everything that it takes to run a household. And he filled a big role for them. And I think leaving that was just, it was overwhelming. And with all the work he did, to get to San Diego State as a first generation student and being a freshman right out of high school, going straight to the four-year university system, he decided in one swoop to go online and delete all his classes, unenroll, and was headed back to Gilroy. And this is a testament not just to South County CalSoap, but to the statewide program. I was able to, of course, talk to him on the phone. We all share students. We all know what's happening at all the different school sites, and we all support one another and our students in that way. But in this case, being 8 hours away, it was more difficult than, getting to go right to the campus and visiting with the student, calling home. And now the student's an adult, so there's not as much contact with the family. But by making a few phone calls and spending some time with the student on the phone, as well as connecting with the San Diego CalSoap, that project director was able to find one of her staff to go meet with him at his dorm on San Diego State University. And so we worked together, not just with a coach and a main office team, two staff, or a CalSoap staff with a school site staff, teaming like we always do to collaborate to find the best outcomes for students. But we actually got two different CalSoap consortia together, and the student is graduating this month with a nursing degree. And I just know that he'll always be one of our most exciting success stories, because it was a lot to get all his classes back. And of course, the hardest part was the mindset change. But that's what it's all about from our youngest students. We even help elementary school students. Any community members welcome in our main office, and they can make appointments with us to, whether it's just to improve their grades or understanding of what's expected of them in the classroom, to navigating all the systems and financial aid that comes along with becoming in high school, selecting careers and majors. But we, yeah, in all of that, our job is to make sure that they realize if they would like to be on a college campus, they need to start seeing themselves there. Because if that's what their dream is, then that's what we're going to help make happen for them.
I love that story. That just truly warms my heart. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. That's
Thank you for
beautiful.
listening.
Yeah. And what's amazing is that you probably have hundreds, thousands of stories like this with all the students that you're helping. I just want to close by saying, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with class today for this Spotlight Series interview. And most of all, thank you for everything that you are doing for the community, for all these students. I mean, you are making such an important impact in so many lives, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. I really do feel it as a privilege. I went from teaching to being a migrant counselor to a regular high school counselor. And, there's some days I really miss those four walls and being able to work with a smaller group of people. And yet I had a great administrator and colleagues along the way saying, no, if we can make an impact or, really enhance or widen that sphere of influence, that's what our jobs are. That's what we're supposed to do, is improve the student experience. And I think programs like this that rely on collaborations, on support, financial support from, not just the state. The majority of our budget is from local community members and local agencies and the school districts, because we all buy into the importance of this program and making sure that every student has a voice and gets to follow their dream. So I want to thank all of our supporters and collaborators, and would invite any and every person that listens to this, if you're intrigued or like to learn more about South County CalSoap, please visit our website or contact me directly. Again, my name is Erin Gemar, and we're at southcountycalsoap.org.
Wonderful. Erin, thank you so much. It's really been an honor and a pleasure speaking with you.
You too, Amy. Thank you.
Stop the recording now. Okay.